ever imagined how the students with special needs learn English? What is the teacher's strategy to teach them English? Or, what would you do if you are in the teacher position? Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dewi Puspitasari. I'm from Ambon, Maluku, and today I would like to present my paper entitled EFL Teacher Beliefs in Teaching Students with Special Need. And for your information, this study has been conducted in 2019 before the pandemic as my final submission for my thesis paper. So, let me begin my presentation with my favorite quotation from Hansel. He said that, "Know me for my abilities, not my disability," which means please don't judge people by their looks, but their skills. Here are our agenda for today's presentation, starting Chapter 1 Introduction until Chapter 5 Conclusion and Suggestion. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Chapter 1 Introduction, I've read several theories related with the teacher's beliefs, and I found that beliefs can be defined as the rich store of knowledge based on the experience, thought, and also behavior which affect teachers' planning and action to make a decision. And this study focuses on the teacher's belief dealing with hearing impairment with slow learning ability of student. Here we come to the research question. I've come up with the 3 research questions. The first, what are the EFL teacher beliefs in teaching English for students with special need, covering the material, the strategy, the classroom management, and the assessment. Second, about teacher challenges, and the third is the teacher expectation in teaching English for students with special need. Next, about the research objectives to answer the research questions. Ladies and gentlemen, here is my chapter 2 or review of the literature as you can see in the slideshow. Next point about the research methodology. So in this research, I use case study as my research design under the qualitative research approach. For the participant and setting, an English teacher at SLB Negeri Kota Ambon. To analyze my data, I use descriptive analysis because it is a qualitative research approach, and to make my research more valid and reliable, I use several ways to gather the data such as observation, document review, and also in-depth interview with the teacher. For the result and discussion, as I mentioned earlier, that this study focused on the teaching SMPLB Class B or hearing impairment student with slow learning abilities. So it's kind of like multiple disability. So based on the research, I found that from the material, the teacher needs to employ eclectic approach to select English material for students with special need. For example, family, number, label, reading, introduction. So in other words, teachers has important role to cut down the material into smaller and simpler, and I believe that that's what Merdeka Belajar's curriculum emphasis nowadays, which is only select the essential material based on the student's need, isn't it? And the second, about emphasizing English vocabulary material with low level of difficulty. So it's focused more about the vocabulary in English. Next, for the strategy, ladies and gentlemen, the teacher need to combine between verbal or spoken and non-verbal language to communicate with the student. Non-verbal language in here, which means sign language communications. And there are 2 kinds of sign language, such as CB and Bisindo. And also using repetition to help the student understand the material. So if the normal student needs 1 until 3 times of drilling for 1 unit, while for students with special need with slow learning ability, they need 3 until 6 times of drilling for 1 unit. Next, for the classroom management, instead of asking the students to imagine the object, it's better to provide them directly with the object so they could observe by themselves. And also very important to give the feedback positive comment like well done, good job, excellence to encourage and embrace the students' motivation to learn English. Next, for the assessment, the law of assessment standard in assessing the student. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, if the student only has hearing impairment without slow learning abilities, so the assessment standard would be the same as other classes. But since it's different cases, so the assessment standard also should be lowered. For instance, 0 up to 20, which means E or very poor, and 81 until 100, which means A or very good. And also affective assessment as the main assessment is true because at the time the school applied 2013 curriculum. And next, for the teacher challenges, the difference between CB and Bisindo sign languages, because mostly CB or the formal sign language used by the teacher, while the student mostly use Bisindo or the commonly sign language used by the deaf community in Indonesia. It is informal sign language, so it's kind of like difficult for the teacher to switch between CB, Bisindo, and then translate it into Indonesian and then translate into English. The next about the pronunciation as well. And for the teacher expectation in teaching students with special needs, the teacher hope that the student to be more accept themselves and also to be success in life, for the society to welcome the student and have positive point of views about them. For the conclusion, of course, the student with special need had different treatment in terms of their material, the strategy, the classroom management, and also the assessment, and also the big challenges such as like the difference between the sign language, Bisindo and CB until the pronunciation part. For the suggestion, ladies and gentlemen, for the teacher and also parents as well as the society, they can be wiser and support those students to the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to know more about how I conducted the study and also my interview with the teacher, please kindly visit my YouTube channel BAC42 or this channel directly, and to get the latest update about teaching and learning English in Maluku. So thank you very much for your attention, for your participation, and have a good day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.